Now, also new items, and these are not from the IRS liaison meeting. I just had a few of those. But I wanted to talk about some new items, brand new items. This first one we're going to talk about is a revised PPP loan application form that was revised March 18th. You need to use the new form if you are applying for a second draw loan, or if there was a delay in your lender on accepting the applications for second draw because the lender knew new forms were coming out. So the first thing we're going to talk about is PPP loan application revisions. There are new revisions March 18th, 2021 for the application, the PPP borrower application, Paycheck Protection Program loan, the SBA loans. The SBA PPP loan revised. The important one for you to note on these revisions is on the application for a self-employed Schedule C individual. That has been revised. The instructions are revised to allow the Schedule C borrower to use their gross receipts, their gross income instead of their net income. I'm just highlighting for you right now the Form 2483 SD, second draw, another hyphen for C, meaning the Schedule C filers. So the Form 2483 SDC is the form that's been revised. The form is a couple of pages because it has questions on the back. You're using gross income instead of net income. That should allow for a bigger draw on the PPP loan. If the borrower, the Schedule C borrower, had a first draw and used net profit and had not yet been forgiven, they can go back and revise. They have an opportunity to do a revised first draw application, also a revision as of March 18th. So this is our second draw loan. Now I'm going to draw based upon my gross receipts on my Schedule C, and I still have to spend the money properly. So I can spend it on rent or mortgage interest and then some expanded items that came in the Appropriations Act and in the American Rescue Act. So I'm still having to spend the money, and I can spend the money on draw to the self-employed individual. Now for my California neighbors, because I am a California practitioner, and I do the federal California tax update for Western CPE along with Karen Brosi. So we talked yesterday about what's happening for the PPP loan forgiveness for the state of California. Now I know not all of you are California practitioners, but some of you who live in Arizona, like my friend Myron, still is doing California tax returns. So for the PPP loan forgiveness, that is tax-free for California, but California has not yet said, because they must pass a legislation on this, California is static conformity. They conformed in late summer to the PPP loan forgiveness being tax-free, but not to the expenses that were paid by the forgiveness to be deductible. Governor Newsom, a month or 6 weeks ago, said, oh, we are going to conform. The state of California will conform to that. We just haven't done the legislation, and we'll do it any minute. Well, that minute has stretched out on AB 8080, Assembly Bill 8080. It's stretched out because of the American Rescue Plan Act. The American Rescue Plan, the ARA, provided money to the states, a lot of money coming into the states for particular relief purposes. Opening schools, getting more vaccination sites, just everything that will help the economies recover in the states for city, county, states. But in order to assure that the money was used in what Congress thought was the right way for a rescue plan, there's a provision that says none of the money coming in from the federal government under ARA can be used for cutting taxes. So you know what just happened, don't you? If California conforms to the federal government rule that the expenses paid by the PPP loan are deductible, they have cut taxes for a certain group. So California, along with 8 or 9 other states, it's not just my state, but some of your states too, are caught with the same problem. They are not in conformity to the federal law on the expenses. They have gone to Secretary of Treasury Yellen and asked her to fix it for them so that they can conform to the federal law. That hasn't happened now. So for those of you who have, as I do, California businesses that are affected by this, just plan on an extension. Plan on an extension right now. You've already extended your S corporations and your LLC partnerships, I'll bet, if they have these problems. You could file the federal return and leave the California return on the extension until we hear more. We are still expecting that Secretary of Treasury Yellen will fix this for these states, but I don't know when they fix it. Then when it's fixed, you still have to, the state will still have to go through legislative considerations. So I know there are 9 or 10 states that have static conformity that are facing the same problem. Check to see if that's yours. Plan on some extensions for at least the state tax return.